Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I am here with the coach, John Brent.
Man, I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin, and we are in the festive feeling.
We're in the season.
The season.
I don't know about that 87 shirt, but we're in the season.
But in 87 rocked the house the other day.
He did. Yeah. He's just a big man catching the ball. That's all he is.
Dude, that overtime run.
Yeah, they should have never let him get there. But anyway, moving along. It is Christmas season.
It is Christmas season.
And first of all, let's talk about this right here.
What is this?
This is Glühwein. And we're drinking them out of Chris Kendall Market cups that you get at the Chris Kendall Market. It actually has the scene right there. We'll try to get it up here close so everybody can see them. It got the scene at Nuremberg, and each year you can get a different one. You pay.
When I hear Nuremberg, I think of a trial.
Nuremberg has the largest Christmas market in the world. It's unbelievable.
That thing smells like.
You go out there in the snow and you drink this stuff and you're feeling pretty spry.
It smells like cough medicine.
Well, it'll fix your cough, I can guarantee you that. It'll put hair on your chest.
Holy crap.
So, on Don's diatribes, Don wrote about this right here the other day. And thank you, Don McCush. Merry Christmas to you, too.
That's my sticker.
So we got the Coach and the Vet sticker there. We've been joking around. First person to get a Coach and the Vet tattoo and sends it to us let's put it on Instagram. We'll give them a free T-shirt, the Coach and the Vet.
Not only that, once they do it, I'll get a new tattoo. I'll get the same thing.
Uh-oh. I don't have tattoos. I believe tattoos is like putting a bumper sticker on a Porsche.
I have 12. This will be their number 13.
But I might have to go do it. So anyway, this is the next to the last of this year, the season 3. And we got to talk about Christmas.
Yes, sir.
We just got to talk about Christmas because we've gone through a lot of crap this year, which we'll cover in the next podcast. But Christmas, let's not forget what it's about. It's not Xmas. It's Christmas.
Absolutely.
And it's about the old boy Jesus himself. That's what it's all about. And so I think we should just talk about some of those things and really probably talk about some of our fond memories of Christmas. We've hit on them the last few weeks in other podcasts, but things that stick out, and we want to definitely hear yours because this is the time of sharing, so share them with us. So go ahead, Coach. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I think of Christmas, and I think of what the meaning of Christmas. I think a lot of times that gets lost in the hoopla of Black Friday and the hoopla of, where you're going to go for Christmas and whose house you're going to be at and make sure everybody has a present. We're doing a whole thing at my cousin's house, and it's the whole white elephant, and you got to paint the gifts. And
Yep.
But, I think we have to remember, and a lot of people always ask me, I mean, a lot of people, probably 4 or 5 people in the last 6 months have asked me, well, you went to Bible college, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. That's not what it's about. It's not about the exact date of Jesus' birth. It's to recognize at Christmas what it means to be, Christ is in Christmas. And what it should mean, and it should mean getting your family together also and remembering, what he did for us on that time period and dying for our sins and changing the whole world. I mean, think about it. Being a Christian or not, somebody died 2,000 years ago, and to this day, we still base our calendar on it.
Yep.
We still have holidays with Christmas in it, and what that means. It's not Xmas, it's not the holiday season. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas tree. Yeah, of course, the Christmas tree was invented by, people years later, but we still call it Christmas. So I think a lot of times we need to reflect back with our family what the word Christmas means and the season that we're supposed to remember.
So for me, something, I'm a history guy, and something that's very profound to me is that during World War I, the British, French, and the Germans kind of did a pause X, and they paused the battle so they could celebrate Christmas. They even ferried some soldiers across, and they played a soccer game.
Wow.
To celebrate that even though we're here to kill each other, that we can be human about things and appreciate the fact that we're still alive this minute, maybe not 10 minutes after that. And they did that. And I just think that's a profound statement. But if you really think of the fundamental things, one of the things the season of giving is often referred to that comes to mind with me is a moment of reflection. Yeah. And I'm writing that in the Friday Self Ponder coming up, but I just think that transcends, irregardless of what your denomination, religion, or what you believe about Christmas, everybody has a moment of reflection during that time, in my mind. And so I think it's an awesome time for us to reflect on a few good things.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm going to throw one story out there real quick that I haven't covered in a little bit. But one of my most fondest memories, and I do discuss this in my Friday's Thought Ponder, happens to be when all my kids were little, and most of them are adults now, and we were in Germany, and my mom came over to Germany. Mm-hmm. And she loved the snow, and it poured snow, and she was able to walk around good. She got herself in good shape for that. We went everywhere. But on Christmas Eve, we did something that we didn't do in America as a family. We went to church and went to this gorgeous church in downtown Kitzigan. Had a pipe organ, which my mom loved, and the choir was singing, and they were singing "O Holy Night." And my mom, we're up on the second floor on the side, and they're singing downstairs in German, and they got the pipe organ going, and she belts out, "Down on your knees." And she belts out the whole thing out of tune, because my mom's like me. She couldn't sing worth a darn. And you know what? That was my mom. And it brings a tear to my eye when I think about it or when I hear that song. But that was just her. She didn't care what anybody thought of her. She just sat there and was enjoying the moment of Christ's birthday, and she lived every bit of it. And so that's probably one of my fondest memories, Coach.
Well, that's great to hear. It's really, I'm going to bring a fond memory that we had this last week. Linda and I went back to what we kind of consider the place that we decided that, we were going to really be together. Is when we first started dating, I took her to the Marshall Lights and ice skating. Because I knew she was from Buffalo, New York. So I'm thinking, when you're trying to court somebody, it's like, okay, they're from the snow, they're from the ice. There's no ice skating around here. Well, there was an ice skating rink that I found out that was in Marshall.
Really?
So I surprised her, and it was funny. She had went with me to get a gift at Victoria's Secrets before we really decided to go on a real date yet. We just kind of met for drinks. And so I decided that while we were there, I saw that they had these huge pink socks, or pink brand. So I decided I was going to make her a little uncomfortable. So I decided I would go there and tell her I had a surprise for her, that she needed to dress really warm. And so we're heading towards Marshall, and I reach in the back seat and I pull out this Victoria's Secret bag, and she gives me this look like, "What are you trying to do?" I said, "Look, just open the bag." And she opened it up and she pulled out, it wasn't lingerie, it was the pink socks. And she goes, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Yes, we're going to go ice skating." So we just went back this week and walked. We didn't go ice skating this week. We went to dinner in Marshall and took pictures in front of the lights again. So it's become a tradition. In the last couple of years, our kids have even gone with us. And Shay and her boyfriend this year went yesterday to Marshall to the lights. So when I think about Christmas, it's always, when are we going to get to Marshall to see the lights?
Awesome.
And so it's been a good memory.
Well, I will say that is awesome. I mean, if I would have took my wife to Victoria's Secret, she'd go, "Do you think I'm that European?"
Yeah.
So back in the early days, I'll say that. So anyway, that is
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
The look on her face was priceless.
But aren't we supposed to make our wives uncomfortable?
I think we should. I love scaring my wife. I like doing things that make her uncomfortable all the time, and it's part of the seeing that face of, like, you don't know if you're gonna get punched or they're gonna curse you. But that's just kind of part of being that way. I like being silly.
Well, the other thing I will say is during this season here, and something that transcends to me is the comfort of family. No matter what kind of arguments you have and all this other stuff, I just know somebody lost their mother just yesterday, and they don't have them anymore. Yeah. And I would love to have my mother at Christmas table one more time, just to hug the heck out of her neck and say, "Mom, sing that 'Oh Holy Night' to me." It would be pretty freaking awesome, even though I didn't appreciate it until after she was gone, but you definitely do. And so I think that transcends very well. The other thing is you and I are very blessed that we both got good families. And it's not always the case with everybody. And I wish it was, but it's just not. And so you and I are very fortunate that we have loved ones in our life that truly care about us. I've said this story a lot, and I'll say it again. Another story that really transcends to me is when I was first deployed to Desert Storm and going out in an advance party and setting up our staging site in Saudi Arabia on the border of Iraq. We did that on Christmas Eve. We did it. We left the day before Christmas Eve. We drove 36 hours. My eyes were like this, and the sergeant I rode with, I said, "Hey, Sergeant Odie, can you drive a little bit?" He goes, "Oh yeah, Griff." He drove an hour. He goes, "Griff, you're good now." And I'm like, "What?" I was
Wow,
like,
you got an hour.
Yeah, I got an hour out of that. But I just remember driving and seeing the desert and the stars and going, where were people 2,000 years ago? And then we finally get to the site where we don't even know where we're at. We're just out in the desert, but we're going to stage for our whole organization to come through. And it's cold. And it dropped like 40 degrees. We're trying to get a tent up for the whole 20 of us in this one GP medium, and that's tight. It normally holds about 16. And then you got a heater in there because you're freezing your butt off because you're not used to that drop. And a lieutenant comes and says, "Hey fellas, you don't mind tonight if I read the Christmas story out of the Bible?"
Oh, man.
And to me, he says, "I don't think there's a more fitting place or time." And I agree, it was Christmas Eve. And I will tell you, every soldier in there, no matter what their religion or thought process was completely somber. Mm-hmm. And just like very reverent. And we were all attentive, where normally you can't get 20 of us to be attentive to anything about giving each other a rash of crap. But you could hear a pin drop as he read it out of the Bible. Yeah. And something I just always remember, and it niched a notch in my memory bank because of that, because first I'm in the Middle East, and where some of this stuff happened, and then I'm getting read this Christmas story after we're going through a lot of things that we have no clue what tomorrow's going to hold for us. So that's probably my last memory I'll share, Coach, and I'll let you go ahead if you got anything else here.
Well, I mean, you brought up parents. We'd love to have your mom. In times like this, I reflect. It's a sad time. You think, well, my dad's not going to be here, and my grandparents are gone, and things like that. But it also brings up the good memories that you have, especially when we did a podcast recently with our kids, talking about Christmas, and made me start thinking. And I took a trip the other day, and I had some time driving back, and I started thinking of the funny things that my dad used to always do around Christmas, and my grandparents at their home with everybody running through the house. Like you said, it's a madhouse. It's not that there's always something uncomfortable. Somebody always gets their butt whooped by a parent, and it makes it a little uneasy. Somebody does something, breaks something. But when you look back at it, it doesn't even matter that those things happened. My grandmother always would cook, and one of the boys would always try to run through there and grab a piece of turkey, and we'd get slapped at. And, it's just those memories of the family and the loud noises and the football in the background. And right now we've been playing Christmas music. It's called Holiday Traditions on Sirius XM. And we've been playing it throughout the day, throughout the night, even with meal prepping. I was meal prepping outside. It was playing outside. And it's just, those songs that you hear with, Bing Crosby that you don't hear all the time. And even some with Don Henley that you don't listen to, think about it. I mean, what are some of those songs that you think about? And, just something as simple as Mariah Carey. I never listened to Mariah Carey.
I know you like that Wham song.
The who?
The Wham song.
Oh,
you know that's Christmas. I know that's your favorite song.
No. But, I never listened to Mariah Carey, but there's a Mariah Carey song that I always hear at Christmas time. But bells will be ringing when I hear that the very first time with Don Henley. Yeah. It's like it's Christmas season again. So just the sounds, the smells, the memories of Christmas. It's like and sometimes I'm a little reflective, and this is going to sound maybe even morbid. Every time when the football season ends, I wonder, is this going to be the last football season I get to?
Wow.
And I think that about Christmas now that I'm getting older. Is this the last Christmas? But I want to make sure that it's enjoyable for the family and the traditions that we set as the men of the house. And even the women that are there, but the men, we have this legacy that we want to live. I would love the 20 and 30 and 40 years down the road that our kids and grandkids are doing things. Remember how Papa used to do that? Remember how Granddad used to do that? Yeah. I hope those memories are there too.
Well, speaking of that, I did want to share this one because it's hilarious. Is anybody that grew up around my grandfather, Papa, B.J. McDowell, Mr. Mac, as many people know him by, they tell me stories all the time. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that about him. But Christmas time, he would sit back and watch everybody. And, you know, he got the socks and he got the tie. But there was always one gag gift given to him, always. And my mom got him a hand-knitted nose warmer with a string that went around here, a old pajama outfit that was like a gown, and a pajama hat that went along with it, and a lamp. My grandfather, my papa, put that on, and he went for an hour and a half around the neighborhood knocking on doors, because you couldn't embarrass that man. He would sport that and own it. And he walked around everywhere. Merry Christmas to you, Sarah. Merry Christmas to you. He was so proud of that. Oh my gosh. And that's just the humility my grandfather had.
Yeah. And you know, I hear people all the time talk about my dad, about him being funny. He was a life of the party, never a dull moment, was always silly, would say things that, you know, sometimes he could get away with that a lot of times other people couldn't get away with. But I've kind of started that tradition. I do a lot of silly things, do a lot of silly videos and TikTok. At lunch today, my daughter was taking pictures of me with a bald head and posting them, you know, or sending them to other friends. I'm like, hey, that's great. You know, I think sometimes we as parents, of course you have to parent. Yeah. But I think we forget, you know, to have fun and enjoy. And like last night, my kids came home and I scared the crap out of them and recorded it and sent it to some of their friends. Like, look what happened when you weren't here. And, you know, you got to do those things. Never a dull moment.
Yeah. So really, from the coach and the vet here, we would just like to wish y'all a Merry Christmas. And we hope you have a time of peace. And hopefully you get to share it with your family. And you make fond memories that your family can build upon for generations and generations. Yeah. Is really what we want. And because this is a time of peace, to be honest. And so.
Yep. Merry Christmas to all. And
yes.
That's what we want to make sure that keep listening going forward, but make sure you take the time to enjoy your family and set a tradition.
I agree. So with that there, I'm going to say Merry Christmas from the coach.
Merry Christmas to the vet.
Y'all, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.